Yo, what up? We're back. This is the last video on Chasm difficulty that you'll see before I get all the Trinity bonuses. I've been getting a few of them. I went back and got the first three. Um, it's going to take a long time for me to do all of the Trinity bonuses just because it's so... every single level you have to get is no damage, and that's pretty difficult when you're, like, stupid. When you're stupid like I am. And so... let me just make sure. I click this funny button. But I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna yap. We're gonna get right into it because we've got 5 levels to get through and probably gonna be long ones. So let's do this. Yeah, Parker, let's do this. This is a different session. I was gonna do the last 2 episodes back to back like I did with Sonic Adventure. Oh. But I don't know. I had some other shit to do that day. This is still before I go to the art show, though, so... Okay, maybe I should stop trying to use that gun. Once again, I have just woken up. I haven't even, like, adjusted where my keyboard and mouse are yet. I'm a little bit, out of it. That's okay, though. Give me that old key. Idiot. Bozo. 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 Idiot. Dumbass. There's another one. I am now the bozo. When I'm fighting hunters, I'm doing this kind of like gallop motion where I'm clicking right click, left click, letting go of right click, moving forward, and then holding right click again, and then doing it so I can continue to be aggressive. I want to get away from him, but whatever. I'm almost out of ammunition. I think by this point they expected me to get the upgrades. But I have not gotten the upgrades because I'm bad. That's okay, though. Before we do Trench, I will upgrade everything. I will play the campaign again, and then I'll upgrade all my shenanigans. Let me in. Pufferfish. Perish. Idiot. 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 I suppose there are some more hunters outside. Hello. Let's run over here. Uh-oh. Using the door is a good idea to reload my gun. I didn't use my own advice, and now I'm gonna get slapped. Shoot him in the dick! Shoot him in the gooch! We ended last episode talking about things that, like, gamers kind of shill to people and how annoying it is. And I wasn't going to talk about that more today, but I got another text from Control this morning, and I don't know if I can opt out of them. I probably can, but it's just like, every time I turn around, it feels like gamers are shilling shit to people. And it's like, you don't need G Fuel, right? You don't need all the shit that they're like trying to get you to buy. And like, unfortunately, no matter how trustworthy a YouTuber is, like how much you think they're like down to earth and trustworthy, if they're like advertising something to you, they're not your best interests are not in mind. Like, whenever someone says like this video is sponsored by like food item, like maybe Factor and HelloFresh are what do you call it, like exempt from this mindset. But like usually if it's like, oh, this video is sponsored by like G Fuel, GamerSupps, Advanced, Control, like I don't doubt that Control is healthy for you, or like it has your macros or whatever if you're trying to like lose weight, but the quality of the food is also super important, right? And I think that at least maybe I got a bad batch, maybe I got the wrong flavor, maybe I didn't do something right, but I just feel like that the world we live in, that we're getting advertised so much shit all the time. And like, I feel like food is one of the things that you should be like free to sort of figure out on your own without somebody trying to influence you into what to have. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, there was like Got Milk and stuff, right? There were advertisements for like eating healthy and being active, but like that's just, you know, stuff for kids. And it wasn't like specific brands being like, hey, you gotta eat our fucking Chiquita bananas or whatever, you know? It was just like, hey, make sure you eat your fruits and vegetables and you don't die. Like, eat healthy because bad food is bad. But now it's like every video I see, not every video, but a big portion of them, it's like, this video is sponsored by fucking Advanced. This video is sponsored by Control. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps. This video is sponsored by blah, blah, blah. And it's like, when it comes to things that I put in my body, I feel like the harder someone tries to like advertise it to me, the more it's like, oh, this isn't good for me. Like with medication, it's when medication is advertised constantly to me, and then my doctor's like, hey, do you want to try this new medicine, like Ozempic, when Ozempic was popping off, and they're like, oh, you want to try Ozempic? And it's like, no, I don't want to fucking try Ozempic. That shit's being advertised to me every fucking day. And I think that like, if you're advertising something that you're gonna put in your body, it's immediately a red flag to be like, oh, this is not probably what I want to put in my body. And like, you can say like, oh, it's got all the macros you need, it's got all the vitamins and whatever, but like, you know what else has a bunch of vitamins and shit in it? Fucking Monster Energy. And I love Monster Energy. I drink Monster. I have a Monster Energy drink on my desk right now. But the problem is, hold on, I had to wipe the wet out of my eye because I'm like a cat and I've got like eye boogers or whatever. The thing with Monster Energy is like, oh yeah, it's got all your vitamin B12 or whatever, but then it's like, also, here's a bunch of carcinogens that will kill you. And it's like, oh, cool, thank you. Here's a bunch of shit that'll make your heart explode when you're 40. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not very health conscious. I eat bad food all the time. And I, like, you know, I don't take care of myself the way a person in their 20s should. Like, I don't go to the gym or anything. I sit here and play video games all day. So, like, what the fuck ever. But, I don't know. I wake up and I'm advertised to. And it's like, it's always like, I don't care if it's like video games or like shit you don't really need that's getting advertised to me. But then when it's like food and medicine and like shit like that, like if I ever opened up a fucking Twitch stream and it was like, this stream is sponsored by Ozempic or some shit, like, I don't think medicine is in the big pharma is in the business of sponsoring streamers, but it's just like, I wouldn't be surprised in this like capitalist dystopia hell that we live in to see like people around me start shilling that stuff. It's like, stick to your Raid Shadow Legends ads. Like, I understand it pays the bills, but I don't know where the invisible guy is. I understand it pays the bills, but also, like, you have a responsibility to, like, make sure that the things that you are, like, selling to people aren't total ass, right? Like, I know a guy that did a Yahtzee sponsorship, and, like, this is nothing against him or, like, or whatever, but the advertisement, the game that he was advertising, like, it was a fun game, but the issue with that game is that it has, like, chat features, and so I'm playing this fucking Yahtzee game so he can get paid, and it's like, here's a bunch of old men DMing me, and, like, again, that's not his fault, but I'm saying, like, this is nothing bad about him in particular. This is something about, like, how things are constantly advertised to us, and, like, the things that they're advertising aren't necessarily, like, that great, and, like, the game itself is good, but the problem with the game is that it has a chat feature, and I don't think Yahtzee or any board game like that needs a chat feature where you can, like, talk to people. But the point I'm trying to get at is, like, we are so desperate to pay the bills that sometimes companies will be like, hey, play our game. And it's like, okay, yeah, we'll play your game. And then you play the game, or you, like, shill their thing. And then it's like, oh, that might not have been a good idea. That might reflect poorly on me because I chose to say that this was a good product or whatever. And again, this is for no one in particular. I used Yahtzee as an example because I don't think that that game was very, like, good or whatever. Like, I think if you are... Here's the thing. If you are shilling a game or, like, any product to somebody, you have to remember that there are, like, impressionable children in your... that are going to see this shit. Like, even if your shit's marked 18 plus or whatever, and, like, it's not up to you whether or not a child stumbles upon your content. I mark all of my videos as not made for kids, but I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. Ouch. I died? Dude, I died in raid mode while I was bitching about fucking... Alright, I think we're pretty much back to where we were. As I was saying, you kind of have a responsibility to... I don't know how I'm trying to say this, because I don't want it to seem like I'm attacking anybody. This is just an observation I've been making, and, like, why I won't accept sponsorships. But no matter what you do, children are going to see your video if you're, like, if you have enough of an audience to get sponsorships, that there's gonna be kids in your audience. That's just, like, sample size or whatever. And I think you have sort of a responsibility to not be an asshole in terms of what you shill to people, because, you know, you have to be aware that there are children around and that they might get harmed by the product you are selling to them. And that's what I'm really trying to get at, is that this isn't into anyone in particular. I'm still talking about, like, G Fuel and stuff, where, like, you know, when I was a kid, I saw fucking streamers or whatever had G Fuel, and I was like, ooh, I want that. And then, like that shit's not good for you to put into your body. Like, that's gonna melt your skeleton or whatever. Ouch. And I think that using that Yahtzee game as an example, again, not in, like, a hateful way, but in a, like, ooh, this is interesting to think about way. Like, games that have chats in them probably aren't a good game to, like, advertise, because you get people, like, you get shit like what happened to me, where I'm playing this game and a bunch of old people are like, oh, are you a sexy girl? And I'm like, no, I'm not. and they were like mad about it. And they were like, every single day it was like, oh, DM me on Telegram, DM me on this, DM me on that. And it's like, I don't want your ass, you know? And I cannot stress this enough. Oh, I gotta wipe my eye. Spring has sprung and allergies are in full effect. Get away from me. What was I saying? Ouch. Yep, I knew you were coming. Listen, I have no herbs left, so if you guys could get off my dick. Wait, don't I? Oops. Don't these do, like, hella to them? Yeah, these are really good against these guys, because they make them visible. I don't know, I'm just saying that, like, I think I'm so tired of advertising and, like, seeing that... Oh, I cannot stress it enough that I'm, like, not trying to attack anybody or anything. I just think that I'm so tired of being advertised to that, like, I kind of just started getting a little bit more cynical about what I'm seeing online, you know? And I think you have a responsibility to make sure that, like, people who are impressionable, like, I understand that's the point of advertising. Impressionable young people are who you're trying to get to spend their parents' money or whatever. But also, like, you as an individual, as, like, a creator, have the power to, like, change that, in the sense that, like, you are not... if you could have some integrity, you know, and be like, oh, I'm not gonna shill this product because if there's a kid in my audience or, like, whatever, they're gonna see it and they're gonna be, like, preyed upon, or they're gonna be treated poorly or whatever, or they're gonna have, like, adverse effects from this product that I'm selling. But maybe that's why I'm not, like, a popular streamer. Maybe that's why I haven't made it in the world, because I'm not an asshole. I should turn the game up just a little bit, because I noticed in the last video it was kind of quiet, and I was talking about how much I liked the music, and nobody could hear it. Okay. I don't know if I have to... I'm still kind of new to this. I don't know if I have to turn it up on my end with the audio button, or if I have to actually, like, turn it up in the game, or if I have to turn it up on OBS. So please forgive me. I'm not gonna dwell... Oops. I'm not gonna dwell on that previous topic for much longer, because I think, like, I've sort of said all I need to say, and, like, people might start thinking that I'm trying to call them out, which I'm definitely not. If you feel called out by the fact that I think that streamers and content creators are advertising dog shit all the time and they're peddling, like, snake oil, then I think that's more of a you problem than a me problem, to be completely honest with you. But I think, like as I was saying, I think that's why I'm not, like, super popular or, like, whatever, because I refuse to step on other people to get ahead in life. Like, I will stay in this shitty little trailer for the rest of my life, plugging away at my work, and I refuse to, like, live in a mansion. I refuse to live in, like if I was president, I wouldn't want to live in the White House, you know? And so, what's my objective? Get to the last room. Okay. I can do that. Yeah, I just refuse to, like... I would rather die being a kind person with no career than live being an unkind person with a career. And again, maybe this is just privilege talking, because I don't have to really worry about finances at this stage in my life. And I don't have to worry about, like... I don't know. I just think, like... I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep making my art. I'm going to keep playing my games. And whatever happens, happens. If you enjoy it, that's cool with me. If you don't enjoy it, I'm sorry. But I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. You're stuck with me. I'm curious to see what it'd look like to beat this game without the shop. Like, do you think there is enough items? Like, from a fresh save, not from, like, already being established. Like, do you think there's enough items in raid mode to succeed without, like, buying stuff from the shop? Oh. With every passing level, I feel more and more dread for the Trinity bonus grind. See, I said I'd be doing them alongside, and I've only done 3 of them, and we're on level 16. I like how the ooze get up the ladder. I like how they like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of sludge up. Raw! Ow. Put the skeleton on screen. Rah! Ow. You know the one. Rah! I've been in this like phase of telling Future Chaotic to do shit. And, like, that makes more work for me in the future. Like, in the next Sonic Adventure episode, I have to, like, draw something and put it on the screen. And, like, that's cool. But sometimes I wish I wouldn't say things without consulting myself first. I signed myself up without asking myself if I wanted to do it. Oh, God. And if that's not the realest thing I've ever said, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just sign yourself up for shit and you don't realize you're doing it. Or, like, you don't think of the implications or whatever. Get your fucking legs shot off, idiot. Dumbass. What the fuck do you think this is? Think I'm here to play? I can't jump down there. No, bitch, I'm here to fuck you up. Okay. I don't really like this pistol with the scope. It takes so much longer to, like, to start aiming. Okay. Weapon case, I want it. I think after we're done with raid mode, I might do a single video on the chasm difficulty. You know what I could do? I could just go into level 1 with a pistol. Like a level 1 pistol or whatever. And then I can see, like, how far I get without using the shop. And, like, I'd have to get my weapons from inside. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything about the what do you call it? Unless there's, like, a revert progress option. But also, I wouldn't want to, like, completely revert my progress. I would just want to get rid of, like, my upgrades. Get fucking stun locked, stupid. I can aim, I can aim, I can aim. I'm sorry. This one was a lot shorter compared to the last one. Let me just come up here and make sure there's no secrets. Secrets tell no one. Type shit. You know what I mean? Let's go. Uh-oh. Okay, ow. The shock grenade instantly killed, the pufferfish. Come here. Ow. Let me up. Stop touching me in an inappropriate place. Stop it. Be gone, beast. Ouch. Just shoot him. Oh my god. Okay. We're fine. Everything's okay. Pretty good job. Pretty good job, Mr. Sanctum. Ooh, this is a good song too. Fuck, this game's music is so good. Da, 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 da. Oh my god, I'm timed. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, if it's taking me 20 minutes to beat this level, then there's something wrong with me as a player and not as a... Move! Okay. Go. I'm so surprised that this game isn't more beloved. Like, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5 are like some of the fan favorites. But this game just never gets the attention it deserves. Like, I've seen some people talk about it, but like not on the same scale as the other games. Like, this song is so good. Because, like, I need you to understand, this game came out on a 3DS, okay? That's step one of how cool this game is. Because, like, all of this shit that's in this game was in the 3DS version. There was maybe two... Like, the only stuff that wasn't in the 3DS version was Lady Hunk and Rachel as, like, a playable character in raid mode. Literally everything else was in it, except also there was the wart monster. We haven't seen those guys yet, though. I don't know what they're actually called. I just call them wall warts. So, all of this content, raid mode, 3 difficulties. Campaign, 3 difficulties. The 15 hidden handprints. There was, like, achievements in Street Pass, and there was... there weren't any, like, unlockable costumes or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. At least not for the campaign, there weren't. And, like, 3DS version had basically everything except for a few, like, quality of life features that the console and PC version have. So, like, already, that is kind of insane. But then, like, the console version comes out and the PC version comes out, and there's so many, like, little quality of life upgrades that they put in, and, like, they added the ability to have customizable costumes in the campaign. They added Rachel and Lady Hunk as DLC characters in the raid mode. They changed the hardest difficulty, because I believe on the 3DS version it was called Hell Mode, and it was just really hard. Like, the enemies did a lot of damage. It wasn't like Infernal difficulty on this one. So they made an entirely new difficulty for the game. And it's just like the music, the level design, the like it looks so like pretty to be inside the Queen Zenobia. The gameplay is fun. You just like it's very RE5. Raid mode having like unlimited content essentially with all the customizable weapons. And like a very strong online community. I bet if I went online right now, I would find somebody playing this game. Like the raid mode community is insane that it's like still going. And it's just like nobody loves this game as much as like I do. And like that's a little bit self-absorbed of me to say that. But I truly believe that to be true, that nobody loves this game like I love this game. And like it just goes to show that Resident Evil has something for everybody. Like if you love action shooters and like Devil May Cry-esque games, you'll play RE6. If you love classic Resident Evil and like unlimited content and portability, you'll love Revelations. If you love fucking like Call of Duty and like other action shooters, you'll love Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 4. Okay, well, he got away. If you love like classic survival horror, you'll love the first 3 games, and you'll love the remakes of 2 and I guess 3 if you're like not familiar with the original. If you love first-person shooters, you'll love 4, 7, 8, and 9, and you'll love Survivor. If you love like classic arcade shooters, like light gun games. And like if you're an RPG fan, Resident Evil Gaiden on the Game Boy. Like I'm so serious when I say this series has something for literally everybody. Ouch. And like Mercenaries mode and Raid mode being like the 2 things that like the side games or whatever. I don't know. I think Resident Evil needs like the only thing Resident Evil doesn't have is like a survival crafting game. And like they could do that. After Resident Evil 9, they've showed that like a more open design works for Resident Evil. Because if you haven't played, the second half of the game is playing as Leon, and it's a more open experience. You are going through like just like a big open area, and you can kind of tackle everything in sort of any order you want. And like there's a lot of extra shit to explore. And so it's just like it's really cool. And I think if they, because here's the thing. Oh, at the end of Outbreak, it's revealed that Umbrella is just like dropping bioweapons and shit onto Raccoon City. Like they're using it as a testing grounds, and they're just kind of virus on virus on virus on. They're just like putting everything they can on there. And so it'd be really cool if there was a like survival game where you are like in RE9, the zombies in Raccoon City have weapons and tools and like makeshift stuff and like clothing. And so what that shows to me is that they were people after the bombs fell, and they were like surviving, you know what I mean? They were trying to like survive with whatever they could, and that they turned inevitably. And I think a Project Zomboid-esque, like not in style, but in terms of thematic, where it's like this is how you died or whatever, like that sort of game in Raccoon City, where you're playing as like a character you create, and it's like you just survive as long as you can. You like fortify your base or whatever. You like craft weapons, and like you find big bosses and like tyrants and stuff, and like there's like a story, like you could try to escape, and like maybe to keep it canon so there's not another Raccoon City survivor, you can like make it to the end and like escape, and then the what do you call it? Umbrella is like and they like capture you. And then that could like open up like a post-game like open world mode where it's like they're like, okay, well, this is like valuable information that we can have, so we're gonna like use you to see what happens. We're gonna like put a bomb in your head or something, and if you try to leave Raccoon City, we'll blow you up. Or like, I kind of just pulled that out of my ass, and that was like a really cool idea, right? Like, and it could be multiplayer. Like, you and your friends could go into the... Oh, my God. You and your friends could go to Raccoon City together and, like... Oh, we're going to go on an excursion to the RPD or whatever. We're going to go on an excursion to the hospital. We're going to go to the clock tower and look for supplies. Or we're going to, like, find the items necessary to escape Raccoon City. And I think that'd be a really fun game. But, like, they don't have to make it so Umbrella gets you. You know what I mean? If they wanted to, like, have a good ending, you could escape. And it's, like, a Resident Evil 2 situation where the government is like, oh, you... like, the secret has to die with you. You know what I mean? So, like, you are now our employee. And, like... Tough shit, idiot. And I think, like, making a game that's, like... Because, like, what players want is Outbreak 3. Like, we want PvE, like, in the fucking Outbreak sense. Not, like... We don't want Resistance. We don't want Reverse. We don't want any of those other games. We want a multiplayer PvE experience similar to Outbreak. And I think... a good setting for Outbreak 3, if they ever did it, would be escaping the ruins of Raccoon City. Like, you survived, you were in the subway, you were underground at the time, and you escaped the bombs somehow. And, like, it's Resident Evil. It doesn't have to be, like, super well-written. Like, RE9 was not very well-written at all. So, like... It doesn't have to have a good story to sell 5 million copies. And I think if Capcom just, like, sat down, used all of the assets that they had from RE9, Raccoon City, and they expanded it, like, hella expanded it to the point that it's, like, you could go up to the mountains and, like, find the Spencer Mansion, the ruins of the Spencer Mansion, or you could go, like, a little bit off to the side and there's, like, the train and, like, all that area from RE0. And, like, they could add updates or, like, DLC to the game where it's like, oh, you go to the Spencer Mansion. You go to the fucking... the train. You go to the clock tower. Or, like, you go to a bunch of never-before-seen areas. Like, Capcom would be printing money if they made an open-world survival craft multiplayer RE Outbreak File 3. Like, you can keep the story, but, like, make it play, like, 7 Days to Die or whatever. Where you're, like... Where you don't really have to follow the story. Am I really not level 16 yet? Bro! I'm so fucked. Like, I'm capital F. Fucked. Okay, this new pistol... does not do as well against in terms of damage, but it doesn't have the scope that makes it harder to use. So I'll take like 100 less damage for an actual usable weapon. Sorry. I got a little bit distracted. Yeah, I think Capcom could release a like as like a game between, or even as a DLC for 9. Imagine a DLC for 9 that it's just like you get to run around in Raccoon City for as much as you want, and it's just like Outbreak File 3. I feel like the reason why File 3, like as we know it, wouldn't work very well is because at the end of File 2 they escape, right? Like I don't want a Left 4 Dead situation where they're escaping and then they don't escape. Like, I think that's a little bit frustrating as a player. Like, I get it for Left 4 Dead, but if I played Resident Evil and like I escaped the monsters and shit, I would be a little bit frustrated to see that it didn't matter. Unless it's in like a sense that they're like, it doesn't matter, so you can continue playing the game. You feel me? Like, it doesn't matter because you can go back and keep building your base or keep fighting zombies. And like you could have like a Fallout gun crafting system where it's like, oh, I've made a gun out of like the stuff here. And like a skill tree, dude, a skill tree in a Resident Evil game. Like Revelations 2 has a skill tree, and I've never maxed it out, but I might want to. Revelations 2 like took everything that Revelations did and they like did steroids to like add on to it, and I think that's insane. Where's Invisible Boy? Holy aim, Batman. But you know, if we can't have that like open world survival craft File 3, I would actually love a Revelations 3. I think this game's story needs to be finished. Like there was like, I don't know. I understand that like Raymond and Jessica sold the T Abyss virus to, it was either Wesker or somebody, one of the Weskers. I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I've like sat down and dissected the lore of these games. But I would love it if like the problem with Revelations 2 is that it ends with Natalia on the bed and she's like reading the Kafka poetry or whatever, and like it's implied that Wesker did succeed in switching her consciousness with Natalia, and that means that we've got another Wesker running around just like casually. And like I can understand wanting to wait a few years because like right now what did it was like what 2015 2016 that it was in the 2010s or whatever that Rev 2 took place, right? And Natalia could not have been more than 10 years old. So like if she showed up as a teenager now, like she would not be as imposing as like if she showed up as an adult. You know what I mean? Like if she showed up in Resident Evil 10 as an adult and it was like, oh, I've been lurking in the shadows and like I'm running the connections and like, dude, that would make so much sense because of Xeno being like a clone, like an imitation of Wesker, like making it so that he is, that like Alex Wesker is trying to like replicate her brother and like make an army of Wesker people. Like, I don't think she had the best relationship with her brother from what I remember, but also like just for the sake of like bringing the character back, like that would be so cool to have Alex Wesker as the main antagonist in Resident Evil 10. And like Chris is like what do you mean you're a Wesker? You know what I mean? Like, he's pissed as hell. Dude, if Chris was in RE9 and he saw Xeno, like, he's putting that guy down, like, instantaneously. Like, I think that's the only reason Chris wasn't in this game, because RE9, like, I think it was mostly to have, like, the Leon versus Wesker matchup that we couldn't get in the past. But also, like, if Chris was in RE9 and he was getting his fucking ass beat by Xeno, I would have been mad as hell. What do you mean there's a Skag dead here? What do you mean there's a Skag dead here? I didn't ask for this. Like, if Chris showed up and Xeno was like, oh, and like, whatever, like, Xeno's like, oh, I don't know who you are, I don't know why you're so, like, what your problem is with me, and like, Chris is like, cut the shit, Wesker, blah, 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 whatever, you know. I would be so genuinely upset if I launched that game and he was getting his fucking ass beat by Xeno. Considering that this Chris is much stronger at this point. Like, he has to be, right? He has to be a lot stronger than what he was in RE5. Because if he's not, then, like, you know, what the fuck? Who did this? Okay, let me get away from you. But I think that's why they couldn't have Chris in RE9 to, like, finish his story from RE8. Because it wouldn't have worked to have, like, him getting his ass beat by Xeno. Another one! Also, I do think that, like, Leon versus Xeno is such a... Or Leon versus Wesker is a matchup that everyone wanted. And so the fact that, like, Leon... I kind of wish Xeno was the final boss. Like, it would have made so much more sense to fight him instead of Gideon, because Gideon was kind of a shithead anyway. Like, he was not as threatening as he wanted to be. Or as Capcom wanted him to be. Whenever I saw Xeno on screen, though, with, like, fighting Leon, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is an actual problem. But whenever Gideon was on screen, it was like, oh, hello, little freak. A little freak that lives in my phone. How are you today? So I think, I don't know. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass. I'm really more focused on not getting grabbed by this guy. I think RE10 is going to be like an end point to this series, though. In a similar way that 6 was, I think that, like, RE10 is going to be a send-off where, like, a bunch of characters get together and, like... Dude, imagine an RE10 where it's like all the main characters get together and they're fighting the connections, and Alex Wesker is at the helm of it, and she's like super strong and super cool, and like you're fighting her and like her army of little Wesker clones, like she's trying to recreate the Wesker children or whatever to have like an army of unstoppable, like, because like her goal originally was to become immortal, to like switch her consciousness to a different body and like defeat aging, essentially, which honestly for like a woman antagonist, like her whole like thing being like, I don't want to age, like that shit kind of sucks. So like to repurpose her to be like, well, now that I've got what I want and I can switch bodies at any time because I figured out how to do it, I can take over the world and I'm unstoppable and I can make like an army of monsters to help me fight. Like, that'd be so fucking sick, dude. Man, I don't want this to be over. Oh my god, I forgot about this. These guys might be too powerful for me. I'm kind of sad that Chasm difficulty is almost over, because I've been having a lot of fun just, like, getting on and shooting the shit, and, like, I do need to take a break from this game after we're done with this. But I also might need to just, like, dodged. I think I'm dead ass not powerful enough to do this. Uh-oh. Ah! Okay, just focus on the one that's, like, closest to death. And whittle them down. Use your decoys to escape. I think this is designed to be like this. Because, like, just playing through the levels once has not made it so I'm strong enough to finish the campaign. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is designed in such a way that you're supposed to, like, keep trying to get Trinity bonuses before you move on to get experience and battle points. But that's also boring to watch. Dude, this song's also so good. You know what game has really good music? Pokemon Emerald. I want to do a video or a series on the Battle Frontier in Pokemon Emerald. But what I need to know is if you're watching this, and if you care at all, if I do a series on the Battle Frontier in Pokemon Emerald, would you rather see the build-up to where, like, the campaign, and I do, like, the main story, and I get the Elite Four and all that, or do you just want to see the Battle Frontier? Because I think, like, the journey there is also kind of important. But also, I think that... Because, like, I've never done the Battle Frontier, and I wouldn't be using any documentation or anything. I would just be using whatever fucking Pokemon I caught, and I think that would be, like, entertaining as a content idea. Where a guy that is not very good at competitive Pokemon plays the competitive Pokemon mode. Like, I know you can get a Latios and a Soldew and just kind of sweep everything. I'm not going to do that. I want to use the Pokemon that I think are cool. Or, like, the ones that I catch on my journey. I don't want to just, like... I've kind of been poisoned by the P-Chal mindset of not using box art legendaries or legendaries at all, because I think that's, like... You can do whatever you want when you play Pokemon, right? But it also, like... Because they're games for babies, and you won't get any challenge out of them if you use the super powerful thing that kills you. I think, like, just getting a chance to use other Pokemon and, like, actually build strategies and try not to get stuck using just, like, the strongest one available. Like, I never hear anyone be like, oh yeah, I beat Elite Four with Raticate in my party, you know what I mean? And so, like, if I do play the game... Oh my god! Sorry. Okay, it's not that bad. Sorry, I'm a little bit focused on not dying. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Get fucking iframed, stupid. Ouch. But yeah, if I did like a Pokemon challenge, I have a few different ideas for like Pokemon content. One of them is a badge lock, which is like a Nuzlocke, but if you use a Pokemon in the gym battle, they retire, right? Like you can't use it anymore. And so the idea would be to catch every Pokemon you can and strategize about like who you'll bring to which battle. Because like you could bring your starter to Brock, for example, and it'd be super easy if you pick like Bulbasaur or Squirtle. But the trade-off is that you don't have that Pokemon anymore. And like I would just want to do something different. Hold on, there's something in my ear. I would just want to do something different in terms of like not doing like the same, like, oh, I did a hardcore Nuzlocke in Pokemon Emerald, because everybody's done that, you know what I mean? Thank God for the Days upgrade. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ouch. I did a hardcore Nuzlocke in Pokemon Emerald, and I did it really good, and everyone should applaud me. Like, the whole point of this channel is to do shit people... I died again! Sorry, that was really loud in the microphone. I died again, dude. Okay, I'm gonna have to level up, I think. Alright. I'm going to pause the recording. And I'm going to get to level 16. Which is the recommended level for this level. So I will be back in a moment. Alright. I'm level 16 now. I got some new weapons. We're gonna fucking shred through this real fast. Yeah, as I was saying like an hour ago, I would like to figure out something to do with Pokemon on this channel. But right now, my only ideas are to do the Battle Frontier and something like original that I call a badge lock. But who knows what I'll do. Because we've still got a couple months worth of Resident Evil and Sonic left in us, unfortunately. Unless I start, like, really taking this seriously and I upload more than once a week. Which, I mean, it could happen. The problem is I want to do a Trinity bonus video as well. So it's like, fuck, you know? Okay, 2, throw that. Throw that. Uh-oh. Ouch. I didn't get a new shotgun, unfortunately, because I'm really good to myself. But that's fine, because I don't need it. Look how strong this pistol is. I might have shown how I leveled up in this video. I'm not sure if I did or not. I guess you'll see. I'd like to gather some ammo and get into a favorable position before the next wave. I don't know what's after this thing. But that's okay. Dude, this level might be the one where you grind battle points early on. Ow! Up, please. Is it just Norman now, or is it... It's just Norman. Alright, Norman, it's me and you, baby. I'd like to loot a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, it's fine. We're fine. It's fine. We're fine. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. As they say. In the scriptures. The ancient texts from my childhood deem that everything is awesome and everything is cool and we're not gonna die. And I'm only a little bit stressed out. I have like flashbacks to fighting Norman on Infernal difficulty. Hit him! Thank you. Dude, doing Infernal difficulty is gonna suck. Because we are doing a video on that. The amount of videos I'm gonna make out of this game is gonna be crazy. You know, if other people can become a one-game Andy, why can't I? We're gonna defeat you, Norman. Yeah! Did that do hella damage? No, it didn't. Oh! Oh! I'm dead again! Oh! Come on. Absolutely shred this bitch. Get him. Come on. Reload. Got his ass. Thank God, dude. Let's try to gather as much stuff as we can so we don't have to spend as many battle points. We did it! Yes, S-Rank! I'm so good! So you're all stages on raid mode on Chasm. Holy fuck, dude. Okay. That was Chasm difficulty. I'm gonna keep all the shit I get from this. We've unlocked Trench and we've unlocked this shit. Let's go. I'm so happy. I'm also kind of sad because, like, next time I record this game, it's going to be Trinity bonuses. And I probably won't be talking very much. But, you know, towards the end there, I've kind of started figuring out how to, like, talk over this game and, like, really use this game as a chance to talk about other topics that I'm passionate about. Like, you know, sponsorships and how, like, advertising works, or, like, how video games and, like, the like are an outlet for negativity that you can, like, for your agenda that you can push or whatever if you're so inclined to do so. And, like, all this other stuff that we did. I have a different horror video coming out the week after next. And then if I'm not done with the Trinity bonuses by then, which I can't promise I'll even be close, if I'm not done by then, I'll just do something else. And, you know, Sonic Adventure just finished. I wrapped up recording on Sonic's campaign as well, so there's going to be a break after those 2 episodes come out, or the last episode comes out next week. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me during this journey through the various levels. Trench difficulty coming soon. Trinity bonuses coming soon. I actually have to go here because I need to start preparing for recording that. So I'm going to get the hell out of here as soon as I turn my level down to 4. But thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like it even. But, you know, I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk, because I don't enjoy listening to me talk very much at all. Goodbye. I'm going to throw up because I only had Monster Energy drink for breakfast.